Alright, continuing right where we left off from the last video, ZF is using an unusual rain team in that it has Starmie over um, over Tentacruel, which is common, and that means his team is going to be more frail offensively, but it means it's going to be absolutely screaming with offensive pressure, especially because he has tricked the T-Tar, and that is really big because now it means it's automatically. I mean, maybe it's got max special defense, so it can live a focus blast just barely by the skin of its health. But as soon as it takes any chip, from rocks or something, or this Latios Draco Meteor, as there's nothing else that ZF really wants to switch in. He can't go to Excadrill because Surf is also a viable option there. So without the Choppleberry, then Jisu's Tar is now very vulnerable to Thunderous Therian and Tornadus' Focus Blasts. It is also not going to be able to withstand Starmie anymore. So in comes Politoed, presumably a defensive set for some semblance of defensive security. Could also be Scarf, because it was a Specs Latios. But he double switches to Ferrothorn, and is going to get up Hazards, very nicely done. In Rain, not fearing HP Fire from Amoonguss at all. So I mean, Jisu's got some offensive pressure, of course, between Mamo and Keld, but ZF is threatening big time with Thunders. Mamoswine is really going to be the difference maker. And nicely done. There's a U-turn from Gliscor to just immediately put on pressure. And now Keldeo is going to come in. And here's where we're going to... With Latios out of the picture, as is unfortunately going to happen against Sand teams, then... Now Keldeo is going to use ZF's Rain against him, and since he's got Starmie instead of Tentacruel, then he's not going to switch into Keldeo too nicely. But Amoonguss comes in instead. I don't know if ZF was afraid of a potential Scarf Thunderous or something, but instead Amoonguss comes in and gets a Stun Spore off on Amoonguss. We see Lum Ferrothorn, which is great. I've been an advocate of Lum Ferrothorn for a while, because with attack investment, then you take away... Then you take Will-O-Wisp from Rotom on the first turn, because a lot of Sand teams with Rotom Wash will need to lead off with it and burn Ferrothorn, and you take that away and you just destroy it with Power Whip, and then one of the most annoying Pokemon for rain teams is just gone. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and he goes right for a Gyro Ball. Yeah, he tried to get Thundurus in on the Rocks from Gliscor. Because Gliscor is the best Pokemon for Rocks here, because you want to be offensive or aggressive with your Mamo and Exca. So he's gonna, get the Rocks, get Thundurus in before Rocks go up. This time, not another U-turn, and now switching into this thing will be a pain, especially if it subs, because feasibly you could do something like switch to Keldeo on HP Ice or something, but with sub that becomes a lot harder. The only way you could get around that would be if you would Scarf Mamoswine, which sounds like a joke, but Scarf Icicle Spear breaks through Alakazam's Sash and lets you use Mamoswine's Ferocious Ice Stab later in the game. Oh, it just HP Ices, and now it's going to threaten to blast through Amoonguss. So... Yeah, the problem for ZF is going to be breaking through these defenses without running out of steam, because it's possible that the Thundurus gets Stun Spored, because plus 2 HP Ice is not going to KO. And then, he's going to do some more damage, but it's very possible that since he's already lost Latios, and Ferrothorn is not much of an offensive threat in and of itself, then... Oh, he goes for Slut, nice, and he avoids the poison. Yeah, because the next thing you gotta be afraid of with Jisu there is sub, because if you sub on Stun Spore, then that's just terrifying. And now Gliscor gets sacrificed, so if oh, it doesn't, it goes for Thunder. I think that was a sacrifice anyway, but is Keldeo gonna come in on HP Ice here? That'd be brutal. Could also sub though. I don't know if you want to go to Keldeo on sub, and nope, just goes Keldeo on HP Ice. Nicely done. I guess it's not really much of a difference. Well, no, it is, because if you U-turn on sub, then you don't necessarily risk having to sacrifice Keldeo. You can sacrifice like Mamo or something. But no, I think Keldeo is more expendable than Mamo, because Mamo's Ice Shard also beats Tornadus. So with okay, the thing is with Amoonguss so crippled, then you are now you have to contend with Starmie as an enormous threat, and there's Scald being amazing. Sludge Bomb didn't poison though, so that's significant. Oh, and he rests. That's Chesto Rest Politoed. Did not show lefties. All right, so now what's it gonna do? Threaten. Oh, just gonna. It's Sub Protect. This is a great Keldeo set. Um. Yeah. What was I trying to say? See, this is why I don't like live recording. Too much happens too quickly. For all the analysis to be said verbally, as opposed to going through your head. Yeah, I don't think he needed to Ice Beam the Amoonguss on the switch there. Just threatening it with Ice Beam is fine. And I think that Protect was a little safer there because Politoed does tend to run Encore quite a bit. So that sub is unnecessary. Now, is he going to go for Ice Beam? Or no, he's going to go to Starmie and threaten. Now, okay, it's an Air Balloon Starmie. It's not going to be... it's not going to be Spec, so it doesn't have to worry about locking into Ice Beam and getting pursued by Tar. But without Psyshock, it's not going to KO Amoonguss there. And Psyshock is rare because you really like Ice Beam's coverage. And they compete for the same spot. So Ferrothorn comes in on Giga Drain. And is it going to get a Spike? Another Spike would really start putting pressure on everything. Because then Amoonguss is not going to be regenerating as well. Yeah, Tornado. It's really about not losing to Mamoswine at this point. So he's got to keep Starmie healthy at all costs. And at least with another Spike, then... Well, I guess Keldeo's health, now that has taken a hit, is not really as important. And Ferrothorn... Oh, no, I don't agree with that at all. I think that was unnecessary. You can't really... Yeah, you got to just go for Spikes or... Yeah, that's... Starmie losing its balloon isn't as important as just the extra lefties that Amoonguss received. No, it gets lucky with a crit there, but if that Ferrothorn has spikes, which it tends to, then I don't know. I think that was a very safe move because if Excadrill comes in, then who cares really? Oh, Power Whip's trying to catch that Excadrill on the Stun Spore, and Jisu just not giving a care for Amoonguss. I guess. Trying to play aggressively. In comes Gliscor. I mean, I guess if it's got Gyro Ball and he wants to have knockoff for other Ferrothorn as is necessary, then he might have decided to drop Spikes. Understandable. So, but yeah, I don't know. I felt if you don't have Spikes, you can just attack. Gliscor is not switching into because Gliscor is going to run Protect for recovery. And if it wants to start protecting, then it risks giving Thundurus free switch-ins. I don't know about that either. That felt like a very safe U-turn. I mean, I guess Ferrothorn's still out of Mamoswine range, so that helps. But now, in comes Keldeo again, and yes, feels like ZF just falling behind repeatedly. Just playing into the very... it's a weird mix of not playing to... he prevents Keldeo from getting a free sub, so that's solid. Because Scald is definitely KOing from that range. But he's got... I don't know if that sub was necessary, because what's he going to do? Sacrifice Politoed and lose the weather? Lose Starmie and then lose on the spot to Mamoswine? Yeah, he's got to sack something. It's got to be Thundurus. So in comes Starmie again, which is going to at least be threatening. But yeah, it feels like a mix of overdoing it and then to compensate for overdoing it, then playing a little too safe and then playing into right into Jisu's hands. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think I mean, he's still definitely got a shot because Starmie is terrifying. Well, the problem is T-Tar can take a Hydro at 57. Yeah, and then Mamoswine's going to win. So, I'm just going to assume that Ferrothorn didn't have spikes. Because if you're afraid of Excadrill coming in, you just, you force it to come in, if anything, and really force the issue. But without spikes, then T-Tar is still going to be able to keep Starmie in check. And And it doesn't even have to predict because you just need to get the sand up and hit it with Pursuit, and then Starmie is going to be in Mamoswine range as well. So it's not even like ZF can switch out on a forced crunch or something like that, or a potential crunch rather. So yeah, I mean, Jisoo definitely played that really well, switching to Keldeo like that on the Thunderous. But I also, like, the not HP icing the Amoonguss a second time, that felt very wasteful. Like, who is that for? If T-Tar, like, there's no way Keldeo comes in there, specifically, if T-Tar gets sacked here, then that makes things way different. And he eats a Thunder, not even Ice Beam, so now definitely in Hydro range. I guess maybe if he's gonna, I don't know if that was the, oh, it has Surf, it doesn't even have Hydro Pump, and, okay, well, now the game's over, so, you gotta have Hydro Pump. I mean, that 32, that's just, that's so bad. Yeah, so, yeah, this one's toast, because now Keldeo just comes in, and that's the game. So, this is a game to learn from in the sense that, well, in a lot of things. Like, Amoonguss, the reason why ZF thundered after hitting the Amoonguss with the +2 HP Ice is that it still KOs Amoonguss and also smacks T-Tar harder, right? First of all, if T-Tar comes in, then you welcome that, because it's getting weakened and it's not beating you. So that, first of all. Second of all, the fact that +2 Thunder KOs Amoonguss there is exactly why Keldeo's not going to come in there. So just HP icing and getting rid of the Gliscor changes the game entirely. So, yeah, that's so that's going to be this one. I don't think we need a post-game analysis here. Yeah, I guess this game is kind of a lesson to not overdo it sometimes, because overdoing it and just getting fancy can be your downfall, as you see here. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.